There we go. There's only so much. I made a new release. The changelog is missing everything that we probably need to talk about for the Data Explorer. Yeah. But I made the release because there was something fixed. So I was like, I should get it out there.
Yeah, we can look back through and see the latest stuff that Elijah did over the last week and just do it for him.
Nice. Because I need some crafted tweets and some crafted emails for the Jupyter mailing list.
Oh, gotcha.
And people to send those emails and market it. Say download desktop. Or let it be upgraded in automation.
Right.
I love when it auto upgrades.
I don't think that's ever worked on mine.
Really? So what does help about show?
Let's see. Help about?
Yeah. Actually, I don't think you have to do about. You just do help, and then it shows release notes. That's right. We didn't make an about.
Yeah, release notes 11.2.
Oh, you're on the last release. I think what it probably means is that you're. If I had to guess, if you restart Interact, it'll update. You're just not seeing the notifications because you've turned off the notifications.
Okay.
So
I'll cancel out of that. Restart.
Yeah. And then maybe magically you'll be upgraded. Hey, Elijah. Oh, your mic?
Hey, yo, how's it going?
Good.
Hey, Elijah.
So I was just saying that, so we made the release, and now I need crafted tweets and Jupyter mailing list announcements and wherever else one should announce things.
Yeah.
As you saw the changelog, I made it pretty light. I said there were bugs fixed.
Right. Data Explorer got some stuff.
Data Explorer has some stuff. There was under the hood kind of thing, but it was
right.
I just keep leaning into Data Explorer because it touches things.
Well, I mean, that's the great thing about data visualization is that it, makes visual these things that aren't, right? So. And also I do it, so it's really important that the things that I do are
right.
I've always thought that.
I'm glad you pinged me because I was wondering, is this Interact Weekly thing going to just keep going? I thought it was a sprint related thing.
I made it sprint related because I talked about the sprints every time, but I'm gonna make it regular.
That's great. Great.
And hope to synchronize things across efforts, no matter where people are.
Excellent.
So at least for me, I'm wrapping up things in preparation for JupyterCon. I have a talk that I'm giving on building front ends for Jupyter. So largely speaking, I think I'm gonna work on a lot of the output stuff, and then also use some of our components to build up training material. I've written some of the material before, but I'm now going to take a fresh look on it. So that's my plan. And then part of that plan was to push out releases so that, we'd have things shipped well in advance of JupyterCon, the conference. So that's me.
I mean, I can go next. Data Explorer, there's the outstanding issue with the axes. And then there's, I think under the hood, there's this question of why is it giving incorrect drawing instructions in some cases, and whether or not that's actually, some kind of issue. So I need to dig that out.
What's funny is I literally have a data set that shows the issue.
Yeah.
And I see lots of nans.
Right. But I mean, it should handle those. It should say, that's not, it should parse them and somehow suppress them. I was talking, Kyle, I was talking to some internal teams, and they were talking about these notebook initiatives. So we should probably sync up on that and Data Explorer like things in other applications. And
Nice.
it'd be nice to figure out the portability of Data Explorer to put it into other things.
Totally. Yeah.
And beyond that, is there anything that is sort of top of mind for either of you guys with Data Explorer?
Actually, come to think of it, because you said that, perhaps we should split the package up. Mm-hmm. So transform data resource is supposed to do only one dumb thing, which is take in a particular data type through data and metadata. And then all of a sudden after that, it can do everything fancy. And it makes me think that Data Explorer should be its own package.
Right, that's expecting something that's formatted like that, that's formatted according to the spec.
Yeah. And I was thinking maybe, so for some of the Data Explorer stuff that that maybe we expose some of those components directly. I don't know if that would help like those other teams, but I feel like people should be able to use the Data Explorer as is without it being in our like kind of Jupyter type interface where it's this data metadata thing. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
That and naming wise, it would be a lot better than transform data resource.
So. Absolutely. That's
And then we're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to install @interact/data-explorer. And then it's the same component. Which would be nice, because it means that it could mean that people can use the component as is.
That's right.
Even if they had like worked on it in a notebook. Although at least for me, I think most of my motivation is going to be make it easy for them to use the notebook anywhere. So like if they write out a notebook that uses the Data Explorer and they've like persisted their metadata for what they want to show, like we just render it wherever they're viewing a notebook. Yeah. But
are we going to persist metadata? Was that something that we were going to do?
Yes, we have to do that. Okay,
yeah, that's something. I'm sorry, I was going to say that's something we definitely need to do as soon as we get the output stuff done. And I think Kyle wanted to make sure to get that stuff done before JupyterCon, so we should be able to get working on persisting the metadata for it pretty soon. And I'm definitely excited to work on that.
What is the when is JupyterCon?
It's in 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, 18th through 20th, something, maybe 18th through 22nd.
Maybe only
like
a week and a half then.
That's pretty soon.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, if it wasn't so late and had we like talked to you before, I'd be like, oh, Elijah, you should go in New York in 2 weeks.
Yeah, people would definitely love the Data Explorer.
Well, we're going to show it off.
Good.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So
if anything's top of mind for either, if something, just feel free to file an issue and put me on it for Data Explorer, anything that's sort of in that orbit.
Yeah. I think, I'm going to do the metadata stuff. It's going to get done this quarter. I'm hopeful that I'm able to get it done for before JupyterCon, get this output stuff working. And the next thing I'm going to look at is the tests, as I wasn't sure where things were at. Now that I've finished shipping desktop and Jupyter extension and all that, so that people can at least use what we have today, I feel comfortable now going back to some development now that deployments are through. So yeah. Cool.
All right.
I guess that's it, unless you've got anything, Alex.
I guess I don't have a lot. I started a new project called create-nteract-app. that basically just makes it simple to create a standalone web app or web page that has interactive computing ability.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, here it is here.
I'm showing it because I can.
Oh, that's cool. That's great.
Yeah, so like I had wanted to put something like this together like 3 years ago, and I was using O'Reilly had a thing at the time called Thebe, and there was just so much configuration you had to do yourself, and it was so, the way I put it together was so hacky and took forever and broke all the time, and this just kind of makes it simple with just one command. So I'm pretty excited about that, but it's definitely still pretty early.
Oh, hey, you changed the README. I can now install it globally. Let's do it live.
Yeah, okay. Kyle can do it live, and it will break, and I'll be embarrassed.
Excellent.
We can just scrub
A
all of
fully
this out.
featured application.
Yeah.
If everyone just holds still for a second, I can fast forward through this when I edit the video clip.
Yeah. It's pretty small. Yeah, it shouldn't take too long.
Okay, so I probably need to go down a directory, and I'm assuming I can just run it. Live demo. Ooh, it brings in Anorak logos. I didn't know we actually exposed anything from logos.
Yeah, I put the wide logo in there.
Nice.
Yeah, we want to get the kids hooked on our components, you know. So the more logos we can kind of jam in there.
This is going to need some Interact/presentational components, because then you can just
Oh yeah,
absolutely stuff. You could like fake a cell.
Right.
But I guess it's nice that you don't, because then people realize that they don't have to build a notebook.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of something to think about it with it too, is how much of those things, like I figure it'll be a good place to put a lot of the Ion components, because those are sort of general that you can use on the UI of anything.
So
and then
Yarn Dev.
how much of the notebook related components will we want to have in there for that reason?
Here we go. And it's a Next.js app.
It is.
Loading.
Yeah, it'll take a minute.
Oh, it's
assuming
using
that
the kernel component, but it's not showing a loading screen in between. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so
only
run.
Yeah.
Boom, it ran some code. Import pandas as PD. Let's just make a data frame with 1, 2, 3. Oh, can't hit any of the hotkeys. Oh, clear, run. There we go. Look at that.
Yay.
It's live, and it executes stuff.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's really
Thanks.
easy.
Thanks for demoing it.
That was so easy to demo.
Yeah.
Now, when it's what's the app structure look like, Alex? Can we go in here, and does it make sense to go in there and do things, or is it more just meant to be a local notebook? I'm trying to, because I'm trying to think about, like, I use create-react-app all the time, right? And I use it as like a framework to build an application.
Sure.
Is it that people are going to go into this now and they're going to build functionality around this, or is it more that this is like just a local notebook?
No, I think it's what you said, like build functionality around it. So it's a Next app. So like the basic structure is you have like a pages folder where you just add components to do whatever you want. And then within those components, I just created like a code area component, and you just import that and put it wherever you want. And then you can export it as a static HTML, or make it or leave it as a dynamic Next app. But yeah, it's pretty light. Yeah, this was the 2 components here.
Yeah. So this isn't you know what, it's funny, I'm lacking the imagination necessary to understand it, and maybe this is something that you guys use all the time, or you guys experience all the time. So somebody builds an application that has like a notebook code execution area, but it has other more generic application surfaces around. I mean, what
are
is somebody
you saying, like
what does somebody make with this?
Oh, sure. So something maybe as easy as like a coding blog where they want to have live code in it. The original intent I had with it several years ago was I had made a little platform for teaching where I'd have like a video of me. It was like an online teaching
Sure.
experience. So I'd have like a video of me talking, and then I'd have cells appear, and they just kind of scroll down to the right point when I'm talking about them in the video, and then that code would be just there and executable at that point. But yeah, it's really, it's I think one of the reasons why it's I think hard for you to imagine what to do with it is because it's so broad. I mean, you could really like anywhere you could think of that you might want to have live code for any reason on any app, you could potentially use it there. But it doesn't have like a, I don't think we want to limit anyone to like trying to make them just make like another notebook experience or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, it is necessarily just kind of super broad, I guess.
That's cool. That's I could see this. Yeah, I could see this coming in handy with those things that I was obliquely referencing before, Kyle. So this could be pretty cool. I'm sorry, you've already caught Kyle now in the web of
yeah,
developers.
Kyle's just
He's deep into the contributor funnel now.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to use this I need to think about how I could use this. That'd be really interesting. We talked about, when you're talking about the videos, we talked about doing these videos, right? And so maybe if we have these videos embedded with the code, like if we did some streaming, we were talking about streaming features, we never got to it during the sprint. So we could go and do the same thing that you were talking about doing for your class, right? Where you could have some
definitely.
Videos, and we could have some interact code around it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the data for styled like they're styled in Interact. Like all I did was wrap it in that outputs component, which basically makes a bunch of global styles because they're like just for those outputs scoped for what's there. Yeah, the whole way that this works is all binder, which means that it's loading up the compute backend is running on Google Compute. Yeah, Python with this binder example. Yeah. I was fiddling with the code, and I think there was talk about doing these streams. Yeah, we never got to them during the sprints. We got a lot done during the sprints. I guess we didn't really do a retrospective on it at all, but I kind of did, but it was all in writing personally. And then people emailed me. But yeah, sprints were good. We covered a lot of things I didn't expect to cover, and then I think got to build lots of new. Now we get to meet each person live, which is great. So.
Yeah, that was awesome for me, for sure.
So one easy thing that you could build with this, that one could build with this, is that if they wanted to build a different notebook format or store it somewhere else, they could do that. They don't have to like, they can find all the pain of why we do things the way we do within the projects. Well, I want to be able to like, why don't you just make it work with Markdown? Like just, it would just load
Here
Markdown.
you go.
Go nuts. Go build it.
Yeah,
Here you go.
Now you can.
Here's a thing. And then go build the system. We're like, oh,
so it's
okay.
really an issue solver app for us. And then see these issues pop up. Yeah, here you go. Here's the solution. You just build that yourself. It's no trouble for us.
I think for some people they would probably
that could be. I mean, you can just make a bot, Kyle. That
yeah, we could.
Requires us to even be part of the team anymore.
Oh, funny. No, it's just like I think there's a lot of ideas where people can and should build on top of like some of the things that we've built like within the project, but without having to feel constrained by the rest of the maintenance burdens that we currently do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then maybe they'll figure out something new that we're like, oh yeah, we should go ahead and incorporate that. And we just
Yeah, no,
I'm
I
kind
think
of
so.
framing to do it.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to imagine something to do with this as a sort of, you know,
Right.
an interesting. I mean, I can think of some internal tools, but I'm trying to think of like where could I, you know, show this off. And I know, Alex, you're not, you know, I mean, it's you've got some more work to put into it. I just feel like, I don't know, it just feels kind of exciting. Like for me, I'm still like a kid in the candy store with all this notebook stuff. I only just found out about notebooks like last Tuesday, right? So it seems pretty legit. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, I mean, I'm going to use this because what I'm running at JupyterCon is a workshop on how to build on top of the Jupyter protocol, which effectively goes into everything that's in this code area here. So this doesn't use the way that we do state in the main app. It's using Lodash, and it just kind of groups the messages, but like shows off how you'll connect to the kernel, the runtime itself, and send messages back and forth, as well as kind of combine messages as they come in, because you're like sending execution and you're getting all these responses back asynchronously, and you have to decide what and how you're going to use those. So yeah, I think we can build some good educational tools. Educational as in developer educational, so that they can contribute to stuff. So.
Just another way for us to hook people.
Yeah, that's
All these drug dealing metaphors. That's why Kyle goes home and watches Narcos every night.
Yeah, I've never seen Narcos. I want it to live up to my expectations. There we go. Cool.
Cool.
Well, that's it for me.
Okay. See you guys next week.
Cheers.
All right. See you later.